guys, it's Jody with the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast, and we're back on our final episode of the year. And Happy New Year to everybody. Merry Christmas to everyone as well.
All the best.
Hey, did you know this? This is an interesting fun fact. The 12 days of Christmas actually refers to the 12 days starting at Christmas and afterwards.
I did not.
That's interesting.
And it means it ends on January 6th. You know, don't stick your lights down or anything until January 6th.
Interesting.
You know, I'm an avid Hallmark watcher and researcher of Christmas stuff. And I just found that out and thought it was fantastic and wanted to tell everybody about it. But anyway.
That's interesting. I have a Russian friend. I don't know if it's like Russian Orthodox or whatever, like the different churches, like they don't actually celebrate Christmas until like Sunday in early January. Might be the 6th.
Well, the reason why is because the 6th, not that we want to get religious, but 6 is when
we're just talking about traditions.
It was either the last kings or the kings showed up. That was the day they came up and declared Christmas. Now, theoretically, if you're into science and all, it's most likely that Jesus was born either in June or September.
That's funny because I've heard spring from folks.
Yeah,
again,
June
no
is
dog in this
to be,
fight. It's
when
just
you look
a curiosity.
Yeah, I think the reason why they go with that is because it parallels with a lot of the traditions and stuff that were going on prior to with a lot of the. I'm not trying to get sacrilegious here, but some of the pagan type of rituals and stuff that went on, and with the winter solstice and everything. I think that's what it had to go with.
See how I've quietly corrupted him?
No, that's you have not.
You know what?
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Where the idea of having a Christmas tree comes from, don't it?
I actually find that's an interesting story. I actually learned that recently. But go ahead if you want to enlighten us. I would love to hear about it.
I believe it was from an old pagan ritual of bringing greenery in and decorating the fireplace.
It's that, but it's also the tree, though it's dead, it's supposed to represent light. And I was that seems weird because it's dying because you killed it. But
well, I guess if it's an evergreen tree, I don't actually know the history. We use evergreen trees. They stay green in the wintertime, would be a symbol of life where, a lot of other things are looking dead.
It would remain evergreen if you left it attached to the tree or planted in the ground, which is kind of what Jody's getting on about, which I get it. Yeah.
But back in the old days, did they cut them down or did they just, bring the bulb and everything in together? Who knows? But anyway, hey, listen.
We don't know. We're here to drink.
We're here to drink and talk about bourbon. And we're all out of thoughts, and all we got left is bourbon. So let's get to it. So anyway, tomorrow is New Year's Eve. I don't know if anybody's really doing anything. If you want to talk about that, we can. But I want to talk about what are we excited for in the bourbon world? Do we have any? I don't know, resolutions that may be associated with bourbon, or maybe slowing down on it, or not purchasing too much of it, or I don't know. Different things you might be into. I don't know. Just somebody go. Tell me what you think.
I'm looking forward to getting the next year's bomb burgers. I'm looking to see.
You talking about 21 or 22?
I'm talking about 21 because that hasn't gotten through to us as yet.
I just got that the other day from the Godfather. He sent that to me.
I saw a couple of you guys that got it. So I got 2020 on my birthday in 21, which is February. So either that, but I have got a guy on the lookout for Midwinter's Night's Dram for me for my birthday, which will be the first time I've tried that.
That's a good one for wintertime.
Yeah,
we talked about that a while ago. Yeah.
I was talking to White Mark about this the other day, and he was like, hey, he was over at my house. He's like, hey, you want to bust open I have two of the different acts for the Midwinter Night Dram. And he was like, you want to open one of those up? I'm like, one of them is open, but I haven't opened up this year's version yet. And he was like, do you want to open that up? I'm like, I do, but not tonight. And then I'll tell you why. When it's cold, and maybe you can stand outside next to a fire or be inside next to a fire, but step back outside, I really think it brings the character of that drink out. Is the open fire and cold weather. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I feel, because like David, you had some at my house. You're like,
I tried. Yeah, I definitely.
You were
get
like,
that
wow, this
sentiment
is
as well. Like
really
this is
kind of strange. And I'm
yeah,
like,
it's an odd, and it's been
It's
too
very
long,
complex.
So I couldn't get into notes again at all. But like I very much was left with that sentiment. This is something you would drink while experiencing the cold outside, like at night, basically. Like that is the time and place for that drink. Because it was like summertime or something. I can't remember.
July.
It was like, yeah, not the right time of year for that drink.
Like we just came in from the pool, or I did.
Mhm.
It was
Maybe.
July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We're going with July. Yeah. But hey guys, credit to me. I remember having it at Jody's house. I want to be like, oh, Men in Winter's Eye Trim. I've never tried that before.
Well, I mean, that would be, July.
I do
of next
remember
year.
that one. I did. Yeah. Well.
Nice. Well, so for me, it's
Anyway.
stop buying.
To stop buying.
Yes, or buy a hell of a lot less. God damn, a lot less. Yeah.
Being
Yes.
prolific. For me, I think, okay, so I've got my little cabinet, and I think when we started this year, I think I had fewer than or around 30 bottles, right? Now I've got over 60, pushing 70. Like before I had them arranged, they kind of had like a look to it when you open the cabinet. Now they're all just shoved back in there. Like it's very undignified, right? So one thing I would like to do at some point in the year, if I can find the room for it, maybe up here in my little man cave, is to have like a curio or something that could fit in like a corner where I could have a better arrangement, or have some down there and some up here. And the other thing I would want to do is like diversify a little bit more, because like, and Mark, you know me, that I obviously love bourbon, but like I have almost no Irish whiskey, for example. So like maybe I want to look for more Irish whiskey. Maybe I want to expand on my rum collection. Maybe heavens forbid, Scotch. I do that. Like that's how I roll. The face he had to make. Daniels. But
Did you guys watch the show the other night of me and Chuck?
no, I haven't seen it yet.
No, I didn't see. I was traveling.
I'll watch it tomorrow. I promise.
I gave a shout out to you, and also and might have brought up a specific bottle of Jack Daniels.
Mm.
Oh, okay, you're talking about Sinatra. I already know. Is it overrated to go back into that? I mean, it's a really good whiskey. Are they charging more for it than it's worth? I would probably concede that yes, they are.
I wouldn't say it was overrated, but it's definitely overpriced.
Well, I think it's both.
Yeah, there you go.
I really do. I think it is their best whiskey, but it's Jack Daniels. So then you kind of have to go with that. So I wouldn't give it any kind of rating. I think it is truly their best whiskey. I've tried everything they have except for that 145 single barrel that they have.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah.
Holy hell.
Yeah. Except for that, I haven't tried that. But to me, I don't even understand that. Like, why would you want to? We're kind of getting into a show that we've already had, because I want to get back into about what we're looking for. But anyway, my point being is that if it was me, it is a liter, so that does give it a little bit more value. But I wouldn't give it. I don't think it's worth more than $50 max. And I'll never own another bottle, because I'm not going to pay. I would never pay more than $50 for it, and that's even questionable there. I would rather pay no more than $30-$40 for it.
You feel like you were, because I remember when you brought that home, right? And you I was there when you opened it. We had the first pour together. I this, guys, more credit to me. I recall this one. And I remember we sat there, we smelled it, like, yeah, it does kind of smell like Jack. That's not a great. We tried it, and we're both like, okay, that is pretty good. We admitted grudgingly. Do you feel like you were more inclined to want to rate it higher because you just paid a bunch of money for it?
That's a
You
great
wouldn't
question.
want to feel like, that you didn't get had, basically, because now over the course of a year or however long it's been since you opened it, you're like, I wouldn't pay more than $50 for that. So like,
Well, I got it
the lack
because
of
everybody
newness,
was talking about how great it was, and I wanted to give it a try. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna
If,
give them a
if I
try.
remember rightly, that was the consensus at the time. You
Right.
said, yes, it's still Jack. Yes, it is the best one, but yes, I still wouldn't pay over
Yeah.
$50 for it. And I'm pretty sure $50 was the benchmark
Yeah.
at the day at that time.
Interesting.
I mean, but I don't know that I would give it any more for that preference or particulars of it. It's just one of those things that I just don't find it to be all that appealing, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just it at the end of the day, it still tastes like Jack Daniels. I love the freaking marketing and story on it, though. The puffery associated.
The whole Sinatra.
Yeah, all of that is freaking fantastic.
Refinement,
Yeah.
You do feel like a fancy bastard drinking it. I mean,
yeah, and like if I was listening to Sinatra, why wouldn't I want to get completely into the mood with it? So I get that, and that is kind of cool because everybody wants to have that connectivity to a super cool individual.
Yeah.
So
and I guess maybe part of it for me too, also in the name of Sinatra, and I know we're off task here or whatever, so we'll get to Mal or whoever after. But like, so my grandfather, the one who passed away, not the one who's still around, was a huge fan of Frank Sinatra. I could see myself like sitting down and like having a pour of this with him, if he were still around, and that being like a really nice moment kind of thing. So like, the marketing does impress upon me as well. So I can appreciate that. We should probably move on from this little sidetrack and talk about plans for next year. For Mal, what are you looking forward to for next year, sir?
Receiving my package.
yeah, definitely that. I've already gone.
Yeah, he said bomb burgers on his birthday.
Oh, the bomb. Okay.
I went first. We're out to Geordie now, so.
Okay, well, for to me, I don't have a resolution that's associated with bourbon. I have made it kind of a conscious effort that I don't want to buy a bunch of it because I have a lot of bourbon, and it's getting kind of ridiculous, and it's and it's getting ridiculous to where I truly feel like I'm part of the mafia now because people are calling me all the time like, hey, I got some of this, you need it? And I'm like, I don't really need it, but maybe I do, and so now I'm just like, I just don't know that I want to play the game anymore when it comes to that. So I'm actually trying to two things. If there was a resolution associated with bourbon, there's two factors that I'm focused on. One is I got a vinyl record player system, old system, and all that. That's really cool, and there's a guy named Troy Smith, I believe, that's on the Bourbon Nation page. I wish somebody would reach out to him. He has not responded to me yet, but I would love to talk to him, even if it's just an interview, just because I want to, like, the music that he pairs with his bourbon. It's well thought out, man. It's really good. Like, he picks some really good music that I would pick up with that. Well, so part of me wants to get more involved in that. And then I read already a whole lot, but I've made a personal, I guess, practice or desire to want to be able to, get to the point to where I'm reading a minimum of one book every 2 to 3 weeks that's non-academic. And so one of the things I did the other day is when I was reading one of my new Jordan Peterson books, I poured a glass of the Fusion Bardstown. And honestly, that was a nice pairing with that. But I wanted to try to see if, like, for example, the old Ezra or something like that would fit well with it. And it didn't have the same, this may sound cliche or something, it didn't have the same sophistication that I was looking for. Like when I was listening to some Skinner the other night, thinking about my dad, old Ezra was totally perfect for that, I thought that was.
I was gonna say Rebel 100, but
well, I have Rebel. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That would have been a great one too. But that would have probably been cliche. But no. So I want to kind of try to get more into definitely expanding my palette, but trying to make connectivities to things that are better for my overall well-being.
Yeah,
that makes any sense. Whether it be the relaxation of music and associating. Because like for me, the reason why I wanted to go back to vinyl is I'm a musician. You guys know this. And I love the warm sound of analog.
Analog is no joke.
And it sounds better than anything in the world. And even today, when you're listening to, some old record that has a few scratches or whatever, that warm perfect sound is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so you got that. And then, I was listening to Prince the other night, the Purple Rain record. First of all, what a freaking awesome musician.
Yeah, man.
I mean, incredible musician.
Yeah.
So we'll start there, but then you go past that and you just listen to the different intricate aspects that don't sound digitally enhanced. I think give it such more character. So therefore, when you're listening to it that way, which is one of the reasons why I want to reach out and speak to that guy, Troy Smith, is because I bet, because I can hear some of it, some of those warm sounds associate directly with certain bourbon profiles that you can hear, that you can pick up, almost like tasting notes. And it's easy to do that. Now I'm trying to do that same thing where I want to better my perspective on that, but I want to also do that same thing with some of the books that I'm reading too, if that makes sense. Sorry for a long answer, but
no, that's good.
As for anything looking forward to is I want to see what Maker's Mark does this year. I mean, freaking for the last 2 years, they have been kicking ass. And definitely with their private selects, their FAEs and all that.
Incredible. Yeah.
They've been really, really good. And so I want to give that a try. I want to see that would probably be the only thing I'm really looking for. And then I want to make another trip, a guy's trip up to the Bourbon Trail and I want to hit some of those distilleries again and, find something new, but really maybe get into a little bit more of the tasting, even though I got to taste some really high dollar stuff that I don't have the opportunity of owning. It might be nice to pick up something else or to get the opportunity to try something that I've never tried before, like a Pappy 23 or something like that.
Yeah.
Would be interesting.
Sounds good.
Other big news, and I guess I don't know if you want to announce officially or whatever, but we were talking about the Mule Day parade next year in terms of kind of all of our plans. That is a big event in Columbia, the biggest event in Columbia of the year.
Pencil me in.
Where people come from all around, and we're trying to get a float and all that other stuff. Jody's idea, I think it's fantastic. I'm really excited to participate and helping put that together.
Well, I know the mayor too, so we're gonna be able to get in.
You do know
nice.
That's right.
The mayor and I are pretty good friends.
That's good. I know. I've met him. We've talked.
Oh, but I wouldn't say you guys are good friends like he and I are.
We're no. Like I said, I talked to him once.
But no, I want to do that, and maybe that ought to be something we put out to our viewers at some point. What would you like to see on the float? Now you have to bear in mind we can't drink and stuff on the float.
Yeah, we could be themed if we wanted to, right?
Right.
But we can't actually be like in possession of alcohol like on a float. Yeah, in a thing, which I'm a little disappointed by. But I think we can get by till the
Can I have a cigar?
is over.
I'm sure you have a cigar, but I don't know that.
Cigar and a t-shirt, I'm good.
Well, one of you guys needs to come in early December because Christmas parade, I want to have Black Santa. Because Maury County Christmas parade is missing Black Santa, and I think we could have it, and that would be awesome for the Whiskey Rebellion. So just putting that out there.
All right.
I mean, not because you're black.
Well, we got a year to plan. Couple pounds, and
Well, you don't have to get fat or anything for it.
A little more gray. You want sexy Santa? I got that then.
Yeah. Well, I seen the comment that white girl said to you today on your page with your shirt on. Said you were smoking. She was a cute girl too. I looked her up. I had to look at her real quick. I was like, from Indiana, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Samantha, maybe is her first name.
Sean.
I like Samantha better. That's where I want to keep it in my thought Bible.
Anyhow, I'm good with that.
Wow. Don't blame us for the shenanigans, man. You brought it this time.
I love Jody. That's my man, buddy. So, Dave, what do you think about that really quickly, man?
This
Yeah.
This guy. Oh,
Yeah, I got actually a couple cases of it. So
Sure. Yeah. Okay. My main thing, if to be blunt about it, it is young and it definitely tastes young.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really like the nose on it. You get a lot of those like the
Mhm.
like herbally and like hay bale kind of
Yeah.
wheat notes. You get a little bit of it while you're on the palate,
Right.
but it does get a little bit overpowered by sort of the youngness of it.
Yeah.
On my second pour, honestly, I found it a lot better than my first pour, if I'm being honest.
Did you let it breathe though, too?
Yeah, I did let it breathe a little bit, and I'm taking my
pour.
time with it. Yeah, I got the neck pour out, man. I had to get that neck out.
Oh my God, it's the stupidest thing ever. Every time I see that, I just want to look at those people. You are idiots.
I almost tagged you in a couple. I saw a neck pour about 5 times the last 2 days. You responded to one of them, I think.
No,
It's
not
ridiculous, but like, yeah, just giving it a little time, it does open up a little bit. I was super curious about it. I did note the age, but like 100%, the mash bill is 100% wheat. Like it's just wheat.
And that's what drew me to
wild,
like, this is young, but it's like all wheat. So okay.
Yeah. So figure this out. Yeah. So no, it was definitely a cool experience. I would go back to this to sip on.
Yeah.
It says nose butterscotch and tobacco with earthy hints. I get the earthy. I did not get butterscotch or tobacco.
Ooh, tobacco would be a good one.
I didn't get tobacco. I got the butterscotch, not the first pour, but the second or third.
I have not opened it yet. I just got it yesterday late, so I haven't opened it. But I will definitely. I want to give that rye a try.
I get a little butters like for a flash,
right?
Not on the nose, but on the palate, and then
heavy.
it runs into something else.
Yeah.
But on the nose, it's all like herby, hay bale kind of stuff.
I'm pissed off. I wanted to send one to Northern England, but I couldn't. Shit, I can't even get.
You're not the right people, huh? You couldn't get by
We're still trying to get the other package there. So there is finally some movement within the Royal Postal?
That's the Royal Mail, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn, what the hell?
The Royal Mail.
Yeah, so there's been some movement today. I was like, oh, good.
It's Midlands. It's Midlands now. It's working its way. If it moves overnight, I'll get it tomorrow morning probably.
Yeah.
Well, I will say this: that Kate, I seen pictures of her. She's getting ready to turn 40, right?
What the hell?
Possibly.
Man, she's still hot though. Godly, she is the hot one.
On a completely unrelated subject, I'm
squirrel. Kosher.
Just
kosher wheat.
What? Hot. I've not seen that before.
Behind.
Don't tell me I've had it at your house, Jody.
No, we have not had it here. But kosher's been around for some time now.
Yeah, they do kosher rye and kosher wheat. That's the kosher wheat, and I've got to say, I absolutely love that stuff.
I apologize. I had a sneezing fit that kicked on. I'm allergic.
That's
to
quite all right.
State of Tennessee, so
we're good not to hear it.
Yeah, I did my best to. I even tried to move out of the camera as much as humanly possible. So it wasn't that I was just watching hockey over the top of the screen.
That's right. I was watching Popeye, so it's all good.
Hey, did you watch that game last night? The Preds and the Caps.
No.
I really wanted to get your perspective on it because I was hoping that you had watched it.
Yeah.
This is not me just saying this as a. Did we just score again? We did. I'm not just saying this as a disgruntled fan of the game.
Yeah.
You guys got 7 penalties called against us. All right. Didn't score on any of them. All right. Y'all didn't score on a single power play. Now technically you only lost 4-3, but there was an empty netter at the end, so it's 5-3.
Right.
Y'all beat us, but man, the officiating was horrendous, man. It was atrocious. I was just sitting there. I was like, and normally I look for it and I go, I can see that maybe at least it's borderline and you could go either way.
Right.
I was looking at some of them like the 17-minute, the 17-minute penalty that one of our guys got for inciting violence or inciting and then roughing and then 10-minute player misconduct.
Really?
Inciting?
Yeah.
Like he got someone
Go back and
else
see if I
that
can
get into a
find it.
fight.
Yeah.
Like you gonna take that kind of thing?
Yeah, essentially, what it is if you are skating
I kinda
against
wish I'd
somebody
seen
and
it.
you throw your gloves off
Let's
without
go.
it being essentially at the same time,
Yep.
the person that throws them off. I mean, think about this. They rarely call it. So if it's not at
Right.
the exact same, I mean, like exact same time is kind of relative, if that makes any sense.
It does.
So if they get the chance, they 9 times out of 10, they don't call it. Well, this was not even close.
Classed as an instigation rather than a reaction.
Right. Wilson, who plays for the Caps, threw his off a good 5 seconds before our guy did. Our guy got
That's
freaking
Wilson. That's Wilson. So,
well, both of them got the 15 minutes, but he got the additional 2 minutes because he was, causing he's the one that allegedly threw his gloves down. So it was like the Zapruder film. They were playing it in slow motion. And I'm like, the bullet didn't go into a 90-degree and then go up and, north and south and then east and west and then come back and hit him in the back of the head. That's not what happened.
right.
Like you could truly see the gloves came off a good 5 seconds before the other guys. And I'm like, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But that was just one of the things. There was a couple of plays that they called penalties on the Preds in the first. What happened was the Caps went up 3-0 in the first period. The Preds came back and tied the game in the first 8 minutes in the second period.
Okay.
So it's becoming a game at this point. And then all of a sudden it became penalties, just a litany of penalties. And you're like, what the hell is this nonsense? So there you go.
I was watching a Cowboys football game.
Who they play yesterday?
I have no clue. I'll see if I can find
You
a
just
game.
said you watched it.
See it.
How was you watching it if you don't know who they played?
No, I said that's like watching a Cowboys game.
Oh,
When you watch them, there's always a bunch of penalties against the other teams. The weirdest thing.
And what's bad is I'm actually, this, you've heard me say this. I'm actually a Caps fan. I mean, Ovechkin's one of my favorite players. I do think he's going to break Wayne Gretzky's goals, which everybody assumed would never occur.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think he's going to wait to do that, and I think he'll retire soon after.
All right, guys. Well, either way, you guys have a wonderful evening. I want to say good night. Happy New Year's to y'all for our last show for the year, I guess. But we'll be doing this again next week. So be safe, be responsible. Cheers. And as Billy would say, be good to yourself.
Indeed. Happy New Year. See you next year.
Happy New Year's.
All the best.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony.